Have you ever felt like life has become nothing but a never-ending loop of the same old routine? Like every day is just a repeat of yesterday, and you can't help but wonder if the best years of your life are already behind you? If you're an older woman who's ever felt invisible or underestimated, then this video is for you. Today we're diving deep into a journey of rediscovery, a journey that proves it's never too late to light up your inner spark, embrace new beginnings, and create a life full of passion and purpose. Imagine waking up and realizing that every sunrise is an invitation to start over, to reclaim your power, and to live life on your own terms. In this video, we're going to share real stories, actionable advice, and some surprising insights backed by research and personal experience that will remind you of your worth and ignite a fire within you. We're talking about changing small habits that add up to big changes, whether that means swapping out a stale routine for a mindful morning ritual, rediscovering the joy of movement, or simply taking a moment each day to appreciate your journey. For too long, society has pushed the idea that as we get older, our best days are behind us. But what if I told you that life can get even richer, more exciting, and infinitely more fulfilling as you age? Today, we're challenging that notion. We're here to remind every older woman out there, your experience is powerful, your wisdom is priceless, and your journey is just beginning. So sit back, relax, and let's embark on a path of transformation that's designed with you in mind. Let me introduce you to Mary, a woman whose life story might sound all too familiar to many older women out there. Mary's in her late 60s, and for most of her life, she has put everyone else's needs before her own. For decades, she was the cornerstone of her family, the one who always had time for others, never once pausing long enough to consider that her own dreams might have been set aside. Mary dedicated herself to raising children, supporting her spouse, and caring for aging parents, often losing sight of her own desires and aspirations in the process. Mary's mornings used to begin in a blur of activity, a hurried breakfast for the family, getting the kids ready for school, and then rushing off to a job she held out of necessity rather than passion. The years went by, and with them, a subtle shift occurred. Mary began to notice that her world was becoming smaller. The vibrant woman she once was, full of hope and determination, had gradually been replaced by someone who felt worn out and invisible. It was as if her true self had been pushed into the background, left behind in the wake of endless responsibilities and the constant needs of others. For Mary, every day felt like a repeat of the last. The clock ticked on, and yet she couldn't shake the sense that she was missing out on something important. There was a persistent feeling that she had been living her life on autopilot, a series of predictable routines that left her wondering if the best was truly behind her. The weight of years and unfulfilled dreams began to press down on her. She would catch herself staring into a mirror, trying to remember the confident, vibrant woman she had once been, only to be met with a stranger whose eyes seemed to carry the tiredness of a lifetime of sacrifices. Society, too, had its say about Mary's worth. There was an unspoken message everywhere. As you get older, you become less visible, less valuable, and less capable of change. It didn't matter how much wisdom you had accumulated or how many lives you had touched. The prevailing narrative was that youth was the only period of life that truly mattered. Mary had heard it all her life. Subtle comments about settling down, or the assumption that with age came an inevitable decline in energy, creativity, and relevance. These ideas weren't just opinions, they were part of a larger cultural script that many older women, including Mary, were forced to live by. In quiet moments, when the clamor of daily responsibilities subsided, Mary would feel a deep loneliness. It wasn't just the absence of social interaction, it was the absence of genuine connection, the kind of bond where someone truly sees you for who you are. Despite having a large family, Mary often felt isolated in her own experience. Her children, now grown and busy with their own lives, rarely had the time to sit down and listen to her stories. Even friends she had known for decades seemed to have drifted apart as life took them on different paths. The result was a profound sense of isolation that gnawed at her spirit. Mary's struggles were not merely emotional. Over the years, her body began to echo the wear and tear of a life dedicated to others. Everyday tasks started to feel overwhelming as physical aches and the slow decline in energy became all too real. She would wake up with stiff joints and a persistent fatigue that made even the simplest activities feel like monumental tasks. It wasn't just aging, it was a body that felt neglected, one that had been worn down by years of putting others first and ignoring her own needs. In her heart, Mary wrestled with a painful internal conflict. On one side was the lingering voice of self-doubt, a voice that echoed the societal belief that she was past her prime, that her best days were behind her. On the other side was a quiet, stubborn ember of hope, a part of her that still believed in the possibility of renewal. This internal tug of war created a constant undercurrent of tension. There were days when Mary would look out the window at a bright, promising morning and think, maybe today is the day I finally do something for me. And then, the weight of responsibility and ingrained habits would pull her back, reminding her that change was too daunting, too late to attempt now. It wasn't just Mary who felt this way. Countless studies and surveys have shown that many older women struggle with similar issues: a sense of invisibility, isolation, and the belief that life's opportunities diminish with age. Research has indicated that older women are at a higher risk of experiencing loneliness and depression, partly due to the loss of social roles and the lack of societal support once they are no longer in the workforce or actively raising children. This isn't just about individual feelings of inadequacy, it's a reflection of a broader societal neglect of the emotional and physical well-being of older women. Mary's story is woven with these shared struggles, a tapestry of experiences that resonate with so many. There are the countless moments when she felt overlooked, when her opinions were dismissed simply because of her age, and when she was told, either directly or indirectly, that her time for adventure was over. The constant barrage of ageist stereotypes had seeped into every aspect of her life, reinforcing the belief that she was less capable, less attractive, and less relevant. It wasn't just about external judgment, it was about internalized beliefs that had taken root over decades. Imagine for a moment the countless times Mary had paused to wonder if she was truly seen. In family gatherings, she often found herself fading into the background, while others took center stage. Friends would talk about their new careers, travel, adventures, or personal projects, and Mary would smile and nod, all the while silently questioning if she had missed the bus on living her own life. The vibrant dreams of her youth, dreams of travel, creative pursuits, and making a mark on the world, had been pushed aside by practical concerns and the demands of everyday life. The more time passed, the more it seemed as if her hopes had withered under the harsh light of reality. Yet, even amid the struggle, there was an undeniable strength in Mary. Despite the doubts and the daily battles with fatigue and isolation, there was an undercurrent of resilience in her spirit. There were moments when, after a particularly difficult day, Mary would sit in her favorite armchair, close her eyes, and imagine a life filled with possibility and renewal. These moments of quiet rebellion against the odds were brief, but they were powerful reminders that deep down, Mary still harbored dreams and aspirations that had never truly died. One of the most challenging aspects for Mary was reconciling with the passage of time. Society often equates age with decline, with a slow, inevitable slide into irrelevance. Mary had internalized this message for years, and it had shaped how she viewed herself. She saw her body as a map of her past, a collection of scars, wrinkles, and aches that told the story of a life lived fully, but perhaps at the cost of her own well-being. It was a narrative that many older women know all too well, the belief that aging is synonymous with losing one's spark, with the gradual surrender of vitality and passion. Yet, there were moments when Mary caught glimpses of a different possibility. Sometimes, as she walked down a familiar street or watched a sunset from her window, she felt a stirring, a reminder of the vibrant life she once knew and the potential for that spark to be rekindled. These moments were fleeting, but they were enough to spark a question deep within her. What if it isn't too late to rediscover the joy and wonder of life? In sharing her struggles, Mary isn't just recounting a personal tale of hardship, she's reflecting the broader experience of many older women who have been told, overtly or subtly, that their time to shine has passed. The isolation, the feeling of being undervalued, and the internalized notion that change is only for the young are not unique to Mary alone. They are part of a shared narrative, a collective experience that spans generations. Many women reach a point where the routine of life becomes a cage, a comfortable yet confining space that stifles their true potential. Mary's experiences are supported by research and real-life accounts from women across the globe. Numerous studies have found that after retirement or the empty nest phase, many women struggle with a loss of identity and purpose. The roles they once played so vividly, the nurturer, the caregiver, the active participant in the workforce, seem to vanish, leaving behind a void that is hard to fill. The societal expectation that older women should gracefully accept their diminishing roles has led to a kind of quiet resignation, a belief that their best contributions are behind them. This narrative is damaging as it undermines the immense potential and resilience that come with experience and wisdom. But here's the thing. Mary's story, with all its pain and struggle, is also a story of latent hope. There is a powerful, untapped energy within her, the same energy that in her youth had driven her to pursue her dreams and overcome obstacles. It's the energy that whispers in moments of quiet reflection, reminding her of the vibrant life that still pulses beneath the surface. The journey of self-discovery for Mary is not about denying the hardships of aging. It's about challenging the notion that these hardships define her entire existence. Many older women like Mary face the dual burden of external judgment and internal self-doubt. They battle with the reality of a body that no longer performs as it once did, while also wrestling with the deep-seated belief that their best days are behind them. It's a constant negotiation between accepting the physical changes that come with time and fighting against the limiting ideas that society has imposed on them. In conversations with friends, many admit to feeling that they've been cast aside, that their wisdom is no longer valued in a world obsessed with youth and novelty. Yet, in the midst of this internal and external struggle, there lies a profound truth. Every older woman carries within her a reservoir of strength, experience, and untold stories waiting to be told. Mary's life, with all its ups and downs, is a testament to this truth. Her journey is a vivid reminder that the challenges of aging are not a prelude to an ending, but rather a call to a new beginning, a chance to redefine oneself and embrace life in a way that is richer, deeper, and more meaningful. In her quiet moments, when the noise of the world fades away, Mary often reflects on her past, not with regret, but with a gentle curiosity about what could still be possible. She recalls the dreams she once had, the wild ambitions and the plans that were set aside in favor of practicality. Those dreams may have been muted by time and circumstance, but they were never truly lost. They lie dormant, waiting for the right moment to be awakened, and perhaps that moment is now. For Mary, the journey is as much about self-acceptance as it is about change. It's about acknowledging the pain and the losses, but also about recognizing that every experience has built the strength and wisdom she now possesses. The scars on her body, the lines on her face, and the memories etched into her heart are not marks of failure. They are badges of honor, evidence of a life lived with passion, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to those she loved. This is the shared struggle that many older women face, the battle between letting go of the past and embracing the potential of the future. It's about finding beauty in the imperfections, discovering that the wisdom gathered over the years is a gift rather than a burden. It's about understanding that the journey of life does not end at a certain age. It evolves, offering new opportunities for growth, connection, and joy. Mary's story is a mirror for many who have been conditioned to believe that aging means fading away. Instead, it is a call to look within and rediscover the strength that comes from a lifetime of experiences. It is a reminder that every wrinkle, every ache, every memory is a part of a larger narrative, a narrative that is still being written, a narrative that holds the promise of new beginnings even in the later chapters of life. In sharing her struggles and her silent battles, Mary embodies the resilience of countless women who have been overlooked and underestimated. She represents a generation that has endured, adapted, and thrived despite the odds. Her story is not just about the challenges she has faced, but about the quiet victories, the small moments of joy that have accumulated over the years. Whether it was a kind word from a stranger, a shared laugh with an old friend, or a moment of clarity during a solitary walk, these fragments of hope have added up to a life that, despite everything, is full of promise. There are days when Mary finds herself overwhelmed by the enormity of her past, the missed opportunities, the sacrifices made, and the dreams deferred. But in those moments, she also finds a deep-seated resolve to reclaim her narrative. The challenges that once defined her are now being reframed as stepping stones towards a more authentic life. It's not about denying the reality of aging or the hardships that come with it. It's about finding a way to navigate those hardships with grace, courage, and a renewed sense of purpose. As Mary continues to grapple with the shared struggles of isolation, self-doubt, and the pressure of societal expectations, she begins to see that her story is far from over. Each day presents a new opportunity to rewrite her narrative, to turn the page and embrace the possibility that her best chapters are yet to be written. In her quiet moments of reflection, she acknowledges that while the road has been long and winding, the journey is filled with small, meaningful victories. Victories that remind her that she is still vibrant, still capable, and still full of life. Mary's journey is not just her own. It is the story of every older woman who has ever felt sidelined by a world that values youth over experience. It's a shared experience of navigating a society that often overlooks the contributions of those who have lived longer, of struggling against an internalized belief that time is slipping away. And yet, in the midst of these struggles, there is a powerful truth. The wisdom, resilience, and depth that come with age are treasures that cannot be taken away. In opening up about her vulnerabilities and her battles, Mary is not asking for pity. She is asking for recognition of the strength that lies within every older woman. Her journey is a testament to the fact that aging is not a curse, but a natural progression that comes with its own unique rewards. The struggles she has faced are not signs of defeat, but the marks of a life that has been lived fully, with all its highs and lows. And in every challenge, there is a lesson, a moment of growth, and a spark of hope waiting to be kindled. For Mary, and for so many like her, the path forward is about more than just surviving. It's about thriving. It's about taking the lessons learned from years of hardship and using them to build a future that is rich in connection, creativity, and self-love. It's about breaking free from the chains of societal expectations and embracing the fact that every day is a new opportunity to shine. In doing so, Mary is not only reclaiming her identity, but also inspiring those around her to do the same. As we listen to Mary's story, it becomes clear that her struggles mirror the struggles of many older women. The challenges of isolation, the fear of being forgotten, and the internal battle between past regrets and future hopes are universal experiences. And yet, through it all, Mary's journey is a beacon of possibility, a reminder that despite the obstacles, it is never too late to reclaim your life, to nurture your dreams, and to forge a path that is uniquely your own. Mary's story is a call to every older woman who has ever felt that her time had passed, a call to recognize that the journey is far from over. It's an invitation to see every setback not as a defeat, but as an opportunity to rise again, stronger and more determined than ever before. The struggles she faces are shared by many, and it is in that shared experience that the seeds of transformation are sown. In embracing her vulnerabilities and challenging the narrative of decline, Mary is lighting the way for others to follow. In the end, Mary's story is not just about the pain of feeling invisible or the weight of societal expectations. It's about the undeniable strength that comes from living through life's challenges and emerging with a renewed sense of purpose. It's about the realization that every older woman has a story worth telling, a legacy worth creating, and a life that is still full of vibrant possibilities. And as Mary continues to navigate her journey, she stands as a powerful reminder that while the struggles of the past may have shaped her, they do not define her future. Her life is an ongoing narrative of resilience, a story of how every hardship can be transformed into an opportunity for growth, and how every quiet moment of despair can be turned into a spark that ignites a brighter tomorrow. Mary's journey is the story of all older women. A story of struggle, yes, but also of hope, courage, and the unyielding belief that it's never too late to become the person you were always meant to be. So as you reflect on Mary's story, remember that the challenges you face are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of a journey that is uniquely yours, a journey filled with the promise of renewal, the possibility of change, and the power to redefine what it means to live fully at any age. You are not alone in this struggle. You are part of a vibrant community of women who have learned that every day is an opportunity to start anew, to challenge the limitations imposed by others, and to embrace the endless possibilities that lie ahead. One ordinary morning, as Mary shuffled into her favorite cafe, a small, cozy spot with mismatched chairs and a counter that always smelled of freshly baked bread, she was about to have an encounter that would subtly yet irrevocably alter the course of her life. Mary had become accustomed to a quiet routine, a cup of lukewarm coffee, a brief glance at the morning paper, and the familiar background hum of conversations she no longer truly listened to. She felt as though her life had been reduced to a series of habitual motions, an endless loop with little variation. It was in that very cafe, on an unassuming day that promised nothing more than the usual, that Mary's journey toward renewal would begin. As she sat alone at a corner table, quietly stirring her coffee, a woman with a radiant smile and an infectious laugh approached her. Her name was Linda. Linda was a breath of fresh air, a woman in her early 70s whose spirit shone brightly despite the years etched on her face. Linda wore her silver hair in a carefree bun, and her eyes sparkled with the kind of enthusiasm that suggested life was meant to be celebrated, not endured. She greeted Mary warmly as if they were long-lost friends reconnecting after years apart. "Good morning," Linda said, her voice imbued with genuine kindness. "May I join you?" Before Mary could muster a hesitant reply, Linda's presence felt comforting, like a soft blanket on a cold day, and Mary nodded, allowing her to sit down. What followed was a conversation that began casually, with talk about the weather and the aroma of the coffee, but soon deepened into something far more significant. Linda began to share snippets of her own story, a tale filled with challenges, losses, and eventual triumphs that resonated deeply with Mary. Linda recalled a time when she, too, had felt confined by the invisible chains of age and routine. "I used to believe," Linda confided, "that once you reach a certain age, your life is set in stone, that every day would blend into the next and you'd never experience the thrill of something new." Her words, simple yet profound, hung in the air like a gentle promise. But I discovered that change isn't reserved for the young. Every day holds a secret waiting to be uncovered. A secret that can rekindle the fire inside you if you're willing to take a chance. Mary listened intently as Linda continued. Over steaming cups of coffee, Linda described her journey of transformation, a series of small decisions that led her from a life of quiet resignation to one filled with unexpected joy and adventure. She spoke of the moment when she decided to break free from the mundane by joining a local art class, something she had always dreamed of doing but never dared to try. "I remember the first time I picked up a paintbrush," Linda said with a smile that lit up her face. "I felt like I was painting my own destiny, stroke by stroke. It was liberating." Linda's narrative was more than just an anecdote. It was a call to action. As she described the incremental changes she had embraced, she underscored the importance of small habits in igniting profound transformations. "You see, Mary," Linda explained, "change isn't about making one gigantic leap into the unknown. It's about taking one small step at a time, one step, then another, and slowly you build momentum. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but it gathers power and transforms everything in its path." Her analogy resonated with Mary, stirring something within her that had long been dormant. For the first time in years, Mary felt the flutter of possibility, a whisper that perhaps, just perhaps, it wasn't too late to reclaim her life. Linda's words were not mere platitudes. They were backed by ideas that, while they might not all have been scientifically proven beyond dispute, certainly captured a growing belief among many experts and thinkers. Studies in the field of positive psychology have shown that even modest changes, like beginning a morning routine that includes mindfulness practices, can lead to significant improvements in overall well-being. Linda cited research from various wellness coaches and self-help gurus who believed that a simple act like taking a few deep breaths in the morning could reset one's mindset for the entire day. "It's like rebooting your system," she said. "When you allow yourself a moment of calm, you open up the space for creativity and new ideas." Linda didn't stop there. She shared practical tips that had helped her break out of her own patterns of self-doubt. "I started by setting tiny goals," she revealed. "Each day, I'd commit to doing one small thing that scared me, a new hobby, a conversation with someone new, even something as simple as trying a different route on my walk. And you know what? Those small acts of courage added up, transforming my life in ways I never imagined possible." Her tone was gentle yet persuasive, and Mary couldn't help but feel that there was a hidden truth in Linda's words, a truth that suggested the possibility of transformation was always within reach, regardless of one's age. As their conversation deepened, Linda began to delve into the emotional aspects of change. She recalled times when she had felt overwhelmed by the negative messages that society often whispers to older women, that they were past their prime, that their energy had diminished, and that their dreams were no longer worth pursuing. "There were moments when I looked in the mirror and wondered who I had become," Linda admitted softly. "I had spent so many years fulfilling roles that weren't even my own, roles dictated by others' expectations and the relentless pressure of time. I lost sight of the woman I once was, the woman who had dreams, ambitions, and a heart full of passion." Linda's honesty struck a chord in Mary. She recognized that same internal dialogue, the constant nagging voice that insisted she was too old to change, too worn out to dream again. It was as if Linda had given voice to all the doubts and insecurities Mary had harbored silently for years. "But then I realized," Linda continued, "that every wrinkle, every scar, every moment of heartache is a testament to the life I've lived. They're not marks of failure, they're symbols of survival, of resilience, of love. And if that's true for me, it's true for you too." Linda's reflection on the beauty of scars and the wisdom gained from life's hardships was like a balm to Mary's weary soul. In that moment, Mary began to see her own struggles in a different light. Perhaps the very experiences she had once viewed as burdens were, in fact, the building blocks of a renewed self, proof of a life rich with stories and lessons learned. It was a perspective that challenged the prevailing narrative of decline and irrelevance that had haunted her for so long. The conversation naturally turned to practical strategies for embracing change. Linda emphasized that the key was to start small, small enough that it felt manageable, yet significant enough to create a ripple effect. "I began by changing just one part of my morning," Linda said. "I decided to wake up just 15 minutes earlier than usual, not to stress about more tasks, but to enjoy a few quiet moments with myself. I'd sit by the window, watch the sunrise, and let my thoughts wander. It was in those moments that I reconnected with my inner self, the part of me that still dreamed of a life filled with possibility." Linda's approach was both simple and profound. It wasn't about revolutionizing every aspect of her life overnight. It was about creating a new routine that honored her needs and aspirations. Mary listened, captivated by the simplicity of the idea. If such a small change could lead to a sense of calm and clarity for Linda, maybe it could work for her too. Beyond the morning routine, Linda talked about the importance of physical movement, not necessarily intense exercise, but gentle, consistent activity that celebrated the body. "I started taking a short walk each day," she recounted, "even if it was just around the block. With every step, I felt more connected to my body and more aware of the world around me. The fresh air, the sound of birds, the simple act of moving, it all contributed to a sense of renewal. And over time, those walks became a cherished ritual, a way to start my day on a positive note." Linda's emphasis on movement resonated with Mary, who had long neglected the small joys of physical activity. The idea that something as simple as a walk could serve as a catalyst for change was both empowering and reassuring. Linda also touched on the power of social connection in sparking transformation. She recalled how joining a local group for women over 60 had opened up a world of possibilities for her. "I found that sharing my experiences with other women who understood my struggles was incredibly healing," she said. "In our group, we talked about everything, from our health concerns to our hidden dreams. We laughed, cried, and celebrated each other's victories, no matter how small. It reminded me that I wasn't alone, that there was a whole community of women who were ready to support one another through the ups and downs of life." This sense of community, Linda explained, provided the encouragement and validation that often felt lacking in a world that seemed to sideline older women. For Mary, who had long felt isolated in her own experience, this was a revelation. The idea that she could join a community where her struggles were not only understood but shared offered a glimmer of hope that perhaps she too could be part of a movement of change. As the conversation continued, Linda shared more personal anecdotes, stories of small victories that had gradually built up to significant life changes. She spoke of a time when she had hesitated to try something new, only to discover that the act of simply stepping out of her comfort zone opened doors she never knew existed. "There was a moment," Linda recalled, "when I was invited to speak at a community event about my experiences. I was terrified at the thought of standing in front of a crowd, but I pushed through that fear. And you know what? That one experience led to more invitations, more opportunities, and eventually a whole new chapter in my life. It was as if the universe was rewarding me for daring to believe that change was possible." Linda's story was not just about overcoming fear. It was about embracing the unknown with an open heart. She explained that transformation required vulnerability, the courage to admit that you were not okay and to ask for help when you needed it. "There's a certain magic in admitting that you're ready for a change," Linda said softly. "It's the first step in reclaiming your power. Once you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you open the door to growth, healing, and the possibility of a life that's even more beautiful than you ever imagined." Throughout their conversation, Linda's insights were interwoven with practical tips and inspiring ideas that challenged the notion that change was only for the young. She talked about the importance of self-compassion, of treating oneself with the same kindness and understanding that one would offer a dear friend. "For years, I was my own harshest critic," she admitted. "I'd look in the mirror and see all the ways I had failed at life. But I learned that self-compassion is the cornerstone of transformation. It's about acknowledging your struggles without judgment and celebrating the small victories along the way." Linda's words resonated deeply with Mary, who realized that perhaps she had been too hard on herself for far too long. As the conversation drew to a close, Linda left Mary with a final, poignant thought. Change isn't about turning your whole life upside down. It's about finding the courage to take one small step, even when you're scared. That small step might not seem like much at first, but it can set in motion a series of events that transform everything. In that moment, Mary felt something shift inside her, a quiet determination, a renewed sense of possibility. Linda's gentle yet powerful words were like a spark that ignited a flame, one that had been smoldering quietly within her all along. Over the following days, Mary couldn't shake the memory of that conversation. The ideas Linda had shared echoed in her mind as she went about her daily routine. Every time she caught herself thinking that it was too late for change, she remembered Linda's warm smile and the conviction in her voice. "It's never too late to begin again," Linda had said, and those words began to take root in Mary's heart. Mary started experimenting with small changes in her routine. She set her alarm 15 minutes earlier to enjoy a few moments of quiet reflection. At first, it was difficult. Her mind raced with worries about the day ahead, and the temptation to revert to old habits was strong. But she persisted, reminding herself of Linda's words. Gradually, those extra minutes became a cherished part of her morning, a time when she could breathe deeply, savor the rising sun, and feel a renewed sense of hope. Encouraged by these small successes, Mary began to take further steps. She joined a local walking group for women in her age bracket, where she met others who shared similar struggles and aspirations. The group's weekly walks became a highlight of her week, a time of laughter, shared stories, and the simple joy of moving together. Each step on those walks felt like a victory, a deliberate choice to step away from the confines of routine and embrace life with open arms. Mary also started exploring creative outlets that she had long ignored. Inspired by Linda's story of picking up a paintbrush, Mary enrolled in a community art class. At first, the blank canvas intimidated her. But with each brushstroke, she found a sense of freedom, as if the act of creation allowed her to express the parts of herself that had been locked away for too long. The art class wasn't just about painting, it was a space where she could reconnect with her inner self, celebrate her uniqueness, and share her journey with others who understood the transformative power of creativity. Every new experience, no matter how small, reinforced the idea that change was possible. Mary began to understand that the catalyst for transformation wasn't a grand, sweeping gesture, but rather the cumulative effect of many tiny moments of courage, each building upon the last. The memory of that initial conversation with Linda became a touchstone, a reminder that every day was an opportunity to rewrite the narrative of her life. By embracing these changes, Mary started to see her world in a different light. The mundane routines that had once seemed inescapable were now punctuated with moments of beauty, joy, and discovery. Each small step forward built her confidence, and with every new habit she embraced, the old limiting beliefs began to crumble. The voice in her head that had long whispered that she was too old to change grew quieter, replaced by a growing conviction that her life was still brimming with untapped potential. Linda's influence had sparked something powerful in Mary, a realization that the journey toward transformation is ongoing, marked by continuous, deliberate choices. Mary learned that the key to change was not perfection, but persistence. It was about celebrating each small win and forgiving oneself for the inevitable setbacks along the way. Through these daily acts of courage, Mary discovered that she was capable of redefining her life at any age. In the end, the catalyst for change in Mary's life was not a single dramatic event, but rather a series of quiet moments and small decisions that, over time, accumulated into a profound transformation. Linda's simple yet profound message, that every small step counts, became the cornerstone of Mary's renewed outlook on life. It was a message that challenged the prevailing myths about aging and ignited a spark of hope in a woman who had once felt invisible and forgotten. As Mary continues to embrace these changes, she stands as a testament to the truth that transformation is possible at any stage of life. Her journey, sparked by one unexpected conversation in a quiet cafe, is a powerful reminder that every day holds the potential for renewal. And as she takes each small step forward, Mary is not just changing her own life, she is lighting the way for others to believe in the beauty of new beginnings. In reflecting on that pivotal morning, Mary now understands that the catalyst for change lies not in a grand moment, but in the everyday choices we make when we decide to honor ourselves. Linda's visit was the gentle push Mary needed to step out of the shadows of her past and into a future filled with possibility, a future where each day is an opportunity to rediscover who we truly are. And so for every older woman watching this video, let Mary's story serve as a beacon of hope. Embrace those small moments of courage, listen to the whisper of possibility, and remember, it's never too late to begin again. Every conversation, every smile, and every new habit you adopt can be the catalyst that transforms your life, just as Linda's words transformed Mary's. Your journey towards renewal starts with a single step, a step that invites you to reclaim your power, celebrate your wisdom, and live each day with renewed passion. Take a moment today to reflect on the possibilities that await you. Think about one small change you can make, whether it's a new morning ritual, joining a community group, or simply reaching out to someone who inspires you. In that one small act lies the potential to spark a chain reaction of transformation, a ripple effect that can redefine not just your own life, but also the lives of those around you. The catalyst for change is within you, waiting for the moment when you decide to let it shine. Remember, every great transformation in history began with a small, courageous step. Let today be the day you take yours. Mary began her journey of renewal by making small changes that gradually added up to a complete transformation of her life. Today, I'm going to share those steps with you. The practical, everyday habits that Mary embraced to rediscover her vitality and joy. Let's start with her mindset. For years, Mary had been weighed down by limiting beliefs, thoughts like, "I'm too old for this," or "nothing new can happen at my age." But what if you could flip that script? According to experts in positive psychology, the key to transformation is changing the narrative in your head. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, why not celebrate what you can do? Mary began each day with simple affirmations, reminding herself that every moment was an opportunity to learn, grow, and shine. One of the first things Mary did was adjust her morning routine. Instead of rolling out of bed and immediately diving into the day, she gave herself time to wake up gently. She started with a short meditation, a practice backed by research to reduce stress and improve overall well-being. Just a few minutes of deep breathing helped her center herself and set a positive tone for the day. Next came the movement. Mary wasn't always a fan of exercise, but she discovered that physical activity doesn't have to be strenuous to be effective. A quick, brisk walk in the neighborhood became her daily ritual. Studies show that regular walking can improve cardiovascular health, boost mood, and even enhance cognitive function. With every step, Mary felt more alive, more connected to her body, and more capable of taking on whatever the day might bring. But it wasn't just about the physical changes. Mary also focused on her emotional and mental well-being. She began journaling, an idea supported by a growing body of research suggesting that writing down your thoughts and feelings can help manage stress and process emotions. In her journal, Mary recorded not just her challenges, but also her triumphs, big or small. Over time, she built a collection of reflections that served as a roadmap of her transformation, reminding her of how far she had come. Another crucial element in Mary's transformation was nutrition. For years, she had stuck to the same old habits without really considering how her food choices affected her energy and mood. Inspired by new research on nutrition for older adults, Mary started incorporating more whole foods into her diet. Fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains slowly replaced processed snacks. She learned that good nutrition wasn't just about physical health, it was about nurturing her mind and spirit. Every meal became an act of self-care, a celebration of her renewed commitment to living fully. Mary also recognized the importance of learning and growth. Even if you're past the age when you once thought learning was only for the young, there's always something new to discover. She enrolled in a local art class, something she had always wanted to try but never felt brave enough to pursue. In that class, Mary found not only a creative outlet, but also a community of like-minded women who shared her desire to explore life's endless possibilities. This idea of lifelong learning is echoed by many experts who say that keeping the mind active can delay cognitive decline and enrich life at any age. Social connection played a vital role in Mary's journey. Loneliness can be a real challenge for many older women, but Mary learned that reaching out and forming new bonds was the key to breaking the cycle of isolation. She started attending community gatherings, joining book clubs, and even volunteering at a local charity. These interactions weren't just pleasant distractions. They were powerful reminders that life is best lived in connection with others. Studies have shown that strong social ties can boost longevity and improve overall health, and Mary experienced that firsthand as her circle of friends grew. Perhaps one of the most surprising changes came when Mary began to embrace change as an exciting part of life rather than a frightening unknown. She let go of the fear of failure, realizing that every misstep was just another lesson on her journey. Whether it was trying out a new hobby, taking on a new challenge at the community center, or even exploring online platforms to connect with others, Mary's willingness to step out of her comfort zone opened doors she never imagined existed. In addition to all these changes, Mary found that taking care of her emotional health was just as important as physical health. She learned to pause, to reflect, and to be kind to herself. Mindfulness practices like meditation and deep breathing became her daily refuge, helping her manage stress and find calm in the chaos of everyday life. Research supports these practices as effective ways to improve mental health, and for Mary, they were a game changer. Throughout this transformation journey, Mary kept reminding herself of one simple truth. It's not about making huge, dramatic changes overnight. It's about taking one small step at a time, and each step, no matter how minor it seems, builds momentum toward a fuller, richer life. Every positive change reinforced her belief that she still had so much to offer the world, and that her best years were truly ahead of her. Mary's transformation wasn't confined to her own life. It radiated outward, touching the lives of everyone she encountered. As she embraced new habits, nurtured her passions, and reconnected with her inner self, a remarkable shift occurred. A shift that would soon redefine not only her own destiny, but also inspire a wave of change among those around her. As Mary began to live her life with renewed energy and purpose, people started noticing. Neighbors who once passed her by with a polite nod now stopped to ask about her secret. Friends, family members, and even casual acquaintances remarked on the glow of vitality that Mary exuded. It wasn't long before her personal transformation evolved into a broader mission: to build a legacy of empowerment, to create a community where every older woman felt seen, valued, and capable of change. Mary understood that the journey of transformation is never just about personal gain. It's about creating ripples that can inspire others to take their own brave steps. With this in mind, she decided to share her story openly. She started small by inviting a few friends to her home for casual gatherings, where they could talk about life's challenges and celebrate small victories. These intimate meetings soon grew into larger group sessions that spilled over into the local community. One of Mary's first initiatives was to organize weekly legacy circles at the community center. These gatherings were designed to bring together older women who had, for too long, felt sidelined by society's focus on youth. In these circles, each woman was encouraged to share her story, the struggles, the triumphs, the lessons learned over a lifetime. There were tears and laughter, moments of vulnerability, and bursts of unbridled joy. Every session ended with a collective affirmation, a reminder that their experiences, however challenging, were the building blocks of wisdom and strength. The legacy circles quickly became more than just support groups. They evolved into incubators for change. Women started sharing practical advice on everything from maintaining physical health to exploring new hobbies, and they began planning joint activities that promoted wellness and community engagement. Through these circles, Mary discovered that the simple act of coming together was transformative. It created a safe space for learning, for sharing dreams, and for acknowledging that every woman, regardless of age, has something valuable to offer. Inspired by the success of the legacy circles, Mary took the next step. She began mentoring other women one-on-one. She reached out to those who were struggling with feelings of isolation or who doubted their ability to change. Mary became a trusted guide, a beacon for anyone feeling lost in the maze of aging and societal expectations. In her mentorship, she shared everything from her personal journey of self-rediscovery to practical tips on how to start small and build momentum. Her message was clear: your life isn't over, it's just beginning. Every experience you've had, every challenge you've overcome has prepared you for this moment. Mary's mentorship wasn't limited to individual relationships. Soon, her influence extended to local organizations and community leaders who recognized the untapped potential of older women. Invitations began to pour in for Mary to speak at community events, wellness seminars, and even local schools. At these events, Mary's message was always consistent. The strength of a community lies in the diversity of its voices, and older women bring wisdom, resilience, and a unique perspective that is invaluable to society. At one community health fair, Mary took the stage with an air of quiet confidence. She shared her journey from feeling invisible and resigned to a life of routine, to embracing change with small, deliberate steps. Her story resonated with the audience, a mix of younger individuals and women in their later years who were eager to learn how to live life to the fullest. After her talk, several attendees approached her, expressing gratitude and sharing how her words had sparked a new sense of hope. Mary listened with genuine warmth, realizing that every story shared was another brick in the foundation of her growing legacy. Determined to ensure that her journey could guide others, even when she wasn't physically present, Mary decided to document her experiences in a memoir. She poured her heart and soul into the book, detailing not only the challenges of aging, but also the beauty of rediscovering oneself. The memoir wasn't just a record of her past, it was a practical guide for anyone who ever doubted that change was possible. Mary included personal anecdotes, small daily rituals that made a big difference, and even tips on how to form supportive communities. The book was written in a warm, accessible style, inviting readers to see themselves in her story and encouraging them to take the first step toward their own transformation. When the memoir was published, it quickly gained traction. Reviews praised Mary's honesty and the relatable way she captured the complexities of growing older. More importantly, readers began writing to her, sharing their own stories and thanking her for the inspiration. The book became a symbol of hope, a reminder that every wrinkle, every scar, and every moment of hardship is part of a larger tapestry of life that is rich with experience and possibility. Mary's memoir didn't just reach the women in her community, it traveled far and wide, touching hearts and igniting change in unexpected places. But Mary's vision for her legacy went beyond the written word. She saw the need for ongoing direct interaction, a way to foster a continuous dialogue of support and encouragement among older women. With this in mind, Mary teamed up with Linda, the friend who had been the catalyst for her own transformation, to launch a series of community workshops focused on health, creativity, and emotional well-being. These workshops were held at local community centers, libraries, and even online, ensuring that every woman, no matter where she was, had access to the resources and support she needed. At these workshops, Mary and Linda invited experts in various fields, nutritionists who specialized in dietary needs for older adults, fitness coaches who advocated for gentle but effective exercise routines, and mental health professionals who provided insights into mindfulness and self-care. The sessions were interactive and conversational, designed not as lectures, but as collaborative explorations of what it meant to live vibrantly at any age. Participants left with actionable tips, a renewed sense of community, and the realization that they weren't alone in their journey. One particularly memorable workshop was focused on creativity, a topic that Mary held close to her heart. Here, women were encouraged to explore different forms of art, whether it was painting, writing, or even dancing. The room buzzed with excitement as participants shared their work and expressed emotions that had long been locked away. Mary watched as women who had once felt silence began to find their voices, creating beautiful pieces that were raw, honest, and deeply moving. That day, Mary saw firsthand how creativity could be a powerful tool for healing and transformation, a way to build a legacy that was as unique as the individuals who created it. Mary's influence didn't stop at workshops and memoirs. Recognizing the power of digital platforms, she began hosting a weekly online series dedicated to celebrating the stories of older women. The series featured interviews with women from all walks of life, those who had reinvented themselves, found success in unexpected ways, or simply discovered new joys in the later chapters of their lives. These online sessions became a virtual gathering place, a forum where experiences were shared, advice was given, and a sense of camaraderie was fostered. Women from different parts of the country, and even the world, tuned in, connecting over their shared experiences and drawing strength from the collective wisdom of the community. As Mary's legacy grew, so did the tangible impact she was making on her community. Local organizations began to partner with her to create initiatives specifically designed for older women. One such initiative was a community garden project, where women could come together to cultivate not just plants, but also friendships and a sense of purpose. In the garden, every seed planted was a symbol of hope, growth, and the promise of new beginnings. The project was a hit, transforming an abandoned plot of land into a vibrant, blooming space that served as a daily reminder of the beauty that could emerge from unity and care. Mary also spearheaded a mentorship program that paired older women with younger generations. The idea was simple yet powerful: to bridge the gap between age groups and to facilitate a mutual exchange of wisdom and energy. In this program, seasoned women shared life lessons, practical skills, and insights into resilience with younger women who were just beginning to navigate the complexities of life. In return, the younger generation offered fresh perspectives, enthusiasm, and the promise of continuity, a reminder that the legacy of one's life is not confined by age, but enriched by the passing of knowledge and experience from one generation to the next. The mentorship program blossomed into a beautiful tapestry of intergenerational dialogue. Stories were exchanged, challenges were discussed, and slowly but surely, barriers of age and misunderstanding began to crumble. Mary watched with immense pride as bonds formed that transcended generational divides, reinforcing the idea that wisdom knows no age and that every chapter of life has something valuable to contribute. Beyond the community and digital initiatives, Mary also became involved in local policy discussions focused on the needs of older adults. Her voice, once quiet and reserved, had grown strong and resolute. She attended town hall meetings, lent her perspective to discussions on healthcare, senior housing, and community support programs. Mary advocated for policies that recognized the contributions of older women and ensured that their voices were not just heard, but respected. Her involvement in these civic matters helped pave the way for more inclusive programs and services, further solidifying her legacy as a champion for change. Throughout all these endeavors, Mary never lost sight of the personal connections that had sparked her journey. She continued to nurture her friendships, celebrate small victories, and make time for quiet moments of reflection. In every smile exchanged, every heartfelt conversation, and every shared laugh, Mary found proof that her legacy was built not just on grand gestures, but on the everyday acts of kindness and courage that define a life well lived. Mary's story is a powerful reminder that building a legacy is not about accumulating accolades, but about touching lives, inspiring change, and creating spaces where every person feels valued. Her journey, from a woman who once felt invisible and resigned to a life of routine to a vibrant force of empowerment, has become a beacon for others. Her legacy is woven into the fabric of her community, carried forward by every woman who dares to believe that her best days are still ahead. As Mary reflects on the legacy she's building, she sees it in the smiling faces of the women at her legacy circles, in the heartfelt thank you notes from readers of her memoir, in the lively discussions during her online series, and in the quiet pride of the community garden blooming under the care of many hands. Her legacy is not just a personal triumph, it is a collective victory, a testament to the power of community, resilience, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. For every older woman watching this video, Mary's legacy is an invitation to realize that the stories you carry, the challenges you've overcome, and the wisdom you've gained are all part of a beautiful, unfolding narrative. It's a call to action to share your experiences, to mentor others, and to build a community that values every stage of life. You have the power to create a legacy that will ripple through generations, touching lives in ways you never imagined. Mary's journey shows us that when you embrace who you are, honor your past, and step boldly into the future, you not only transform your own life, you light the way for others to follow. Her story is proof that every act of courage, every small change, and every shared moment of vulnerability can build a legacy that outlasts time. As you reflect on Mary's story and the legacy she is creating, ask yourself, what impact do you want to leave behind? How can your unique experiences and wisdom serve as a guide for others who are seeking inspiration? Remember that your legacy isn't measured by the number of years you've lived, but by the lives you've touched, the hearts you've warmed, and the hope you've inspired. In this journey of legacy building, every conversation, every shared smile, and every act of kindness contributes to a tapestry of hope and renewal. Mary's legacy is a living, breathing reminder that it's never too late to start making a difference. With every step you take towards sharing your story, mentoring a younger soul, or simply reaching out to a friend, you add to a collective legacy that celebrates the beauty of life at every age. So let Mary's journey inspire you. Let it remind you that the power to create lasting change lies within you. Embrace the opportunity to build a legacy that is uniquely yours. A legacy defined by courage, compassion, and the relentless belief that every life, no matter how many years it has seen, holds the promise of new beginnings and endless possibility. Take this moment as your invitation to step into a future where your experiences are not just memories of the past, but the foundation for a legacy that will uplift and empower others. Reach out, share your story, and join a community that believes in the power of transformation. Your legacy starts with the choices you make today, and it can light up the world in ways you never thought possible. In the end, building a legacy is about more than just leaving behind a record of your life. It's about creating a living, breathing impact that continues to inspire and nurture the hearts of those who come after you. Mary's journey shows us that every act of love, every shared moment of wisdom, and every small step taken towards change is a part of a larger, beautiful story. A story of resilience, empowerment, and the enduring power of community. As Mary looks back on her path, she sees a mosaic of memories, a collection of lives touched, hearts healed, and dreams rekindled. And she knows that her legacy, built through the shared struggles and triumphs of countless women, will continue to inspire long after her voice has faded. It is a legacy of hope, a legacy of strength, and above all, a legacy that proves that it is never too late to make a difference, to embrace change, and to leave a mark on the world. Now, as you join this movement of empowerment and transformation, remember that every small act of kindness and every shared moment of courage adds to your own legacy. You are part of this ever-growing tapestry of stories. Stories that celebrate the power of resilience, the beauty of shared experiences, and the transformative impact of believing in yourself. Let your legacy be one of inspiration, love, and unwavering hope. A legacy that reminds you and everyone around you that your journey is far from over, and that the best chapters of your life are still waiting to be written. Now let's turn the focus to you. If you're watching this video, it means that deep down you're ready for a change that begins with one small step. Ask yourself, what is one simple habit you can change today that will lead you toward a better tomorrow? Maybe it's as simple as starting your day with a few minutes of quiet reflection, taking a short walk, or reaching out to an old friend. I want you to know that your story matters. Every experience, every challenge you've faced, and every victory you've celebrated is a testament to your strength. It's time to rewrite the narrative. Don't let society's outdated ideas about aging hold you back any longer. You have so much to offer, and your best days are still ahead. So here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment below telling us one small change you're going to make starting today. Whether it's trying a new hobby, reaching out to a loved one, or simply taking a moment for yourself, share it with us. Your story could be the spark that inspires someone else to take their first step. Also, if you're feeling inspired, hit that like button, share this video with a friend, and subscribe for more uplifting content. Let's create a community where every older woman feels seen, heard, and empowered. Remember, transformation isn't about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself every day, even if it's just a little bit at a time. As we wrap up this journey together, take a moment to reflect on everything we've shared. Today, we explored the idea that it's never too late to start over, to break free from limiting beliefs, and to embrace a life full of passion, purpose, and joy. Mary's story is proof that every day offers a new opportunity for growth, no matter your age. Think back to the beginning of our conversation. Remember the feeling of waking up to the possibility of a new beginning, of knowing that every sunrise is a chance to reinvent yourself? That's the heart of this message. Life is meant to be lived fully with curiosity, courage, and an open heart. Each step you take, no matter how small, adds up to a bigger picture. It's about the little habits that create big changes. A morning walk that boosts your energy, a mindful pause that centers your thoughts, a new hobby that sparks creativity, or a shared moment that connects you with others. Every positive action you choose is a declaration that you are not defined by your age, but by your willingness to grow and evolve. As you continue on your own journey, remember that you're not alone. There's a whole community of women out there who understand your struggles and celebrate your victories. Together, we can build a legacy of resilience, compassion, and endless possibility. The impact of your transformation will ripple outwards, touching the lives of those around you, just as Mary's journey inspired a movement of change. So let this be your invitation to embrace the life you deserve. Let it be a call to action, to celebrate your past, to cherish your present, and to boldly step into your future. It doesn't matter how many candles are on your birthday cake. What matters is the light you carry within you. Today, take that first small step. Write down one thing you're grateful for. Reach out to someone you love. Give yourself permission to try something new. Your journey starts now, and the power to change your life is in your hands. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. I hope you leave feeling empowered, inspired, and ready to take on the world, because every older woman deserves to live a life full of vitality, passion, and endless possibilities. Remember, you're not just aging, you're evolving, and the best is yet to come. So, what will your story be? Let's make sure it's one of courage, growth, and boundless joy. I can't wait to hear about the changes you're ready to embrace. Keep shining, keep dreaming, and above all, keep believing in yourself. Your journey of transformation is just beginning.